Hi, it's Jane from Recap 'em. Today we will recap the action superhero movie from 2023, The Flash. Watch out for spoilers. At the beginning, The Flash, the superhero identity of Barry Allen, helps Batman to deal with a situation in Gotham City, the robbery of a deadly virus from a hospital. Later that day, he receives a file from Bruce Wayne that could have helped with his father's release from prison, but the video actually can't be used to clear his father from the accusation. While speaking to his father on the phone, Barry reflects on his childhood residence where he lived with his parents, Nora and Henry, before the unjust imprisonment of his father for killing his mother. On the day Nora passed away, she had asked Henry to go to the grocery store and buy a can of tomatoes she had forgotten. This fact left her alone in the kitchen and led to her tragic death at the hands of an unidentified assailant. Overcome by emotions, Barry accidentally uses his speed force to form a chronobole and travel back in time earlier in that day. He was overwhelmed with his time travel discovery, but Bruce warns him about the unintended consequences this may cause if he accidentally changes something in the past. But Barry decides to time travel anyway, and place the can of tomatoes in Nora's cart at the store, so his father will not have to leave the house and not leave her alone. And upon returning to the present, Barry is forcefully ejected from the chronobole by an unidentified speedster, landing in a time where Nora is still alive. He encounters his parents, but unfortunately also encounters a past normal version of himself and realizes that he is in 2013 on the day he originally obtained his powers. And he is afraid of losing his own powers if his past self doesn't suffer the same lab accident he did. To ensure that his past self acquires superpowers, the two versions of Barry head to the Central City Police Department. There, Barry recreates the event, leading to both of them being struck by lightning. While this grants powers to 2013 Barry, it results in Barry losing his own abilities. While facing the challenge of training 2013 Barry to control his powers, the Barrys discover that General Zod is preparing for an invasion of Earth. In their attempt to call the Justice League to counter Zod, they face obstacles. Diana is untraceable, Victor Stone has not yet acquired his abilities, and Arthur Curry was never born in this timeline, making their efforts to assemble the team unsuccessful. They go to Wayne Manor with the hope of locating Bruce, but instead they encounter an alternate variant who has retired from his superhero role. 2013 Bruce speculates that using time travel to change history impacts events both preceding and following the alteration made, and doesn't want to get involved in this. But the Barrys invade the Batcave and start using Batman's gear to try to find Superman, and eventually they convince Bruce to resume his role as Batman and join them. They track down a Kryptonian pod in Siberia, hoping for Kal-El's presence. However, upon reaching the location, they discover Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El, confined in the facility. And after a successful rescue operation, they bring her back to Wayne Manor. Barry seeks Bruce's assistance to regain his powers, but the initial 2 attempts fail. Then, Kara takes Barry into a storm where he successfully regains his abilities. And together with Batman and Kara, the Barrys engage in a battle against Zod and his forces. In the middle of the conflict, Kara discovers Zod's cruel actions, intercepting Kal-El's escape pod and killing him to extract the codex, needed for the Kryptonian repopulation. But Kara is the true bearer of the codex, so Zod kills her and extracts the codex from her blood. Batman sacrifices himself in an attempt to destroy Zod's ship. These 2 happenings made the Barrys repeatedly time travel to prevent the tragic fates of Batman and Kara, but they face continuous failure. Barry eventually realizes the inevitability of these events, yet 2013 Barry remains determined to keep trying. As 2013 Barry continues his travels, the multiverse begins to collapse, and the unknown speedster is revealed as an older version of 2013 Barry from the future. He is angered when Barry expresses his intent to revert the timeline by allowing Norris' death. The elder 2013 Barry tries to kill Barry, but inadvertently impales his younger self, who sacrifices himself to erase his future version from the timeline. Barry resets the timeline and accepts his mother's death. However, he subtly alters the past by moving the tomato cans to a higher shelf. Returning to the present, Barry attends Henry's court hearing, where the security footage now exonerates Henry as it shows him reaching up to grab the tomato can. At the end, Barry is contacted by Bruce, whose appearance has changed due to the timeline alteration. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this. Thank you for watching Recap 'em.